100% free. It doesn't cost any money. And if you want to spend money and get additional and good training, by all means do, but you don't have to. It starts with awareness and preparation and rehearsal. Those three things. None of this will even sound complicated to you. It is literally this simple, okay? These three things right here are what are going to keep you alive and making good decisions in any kind of emergency and in life in general. So we'll start with awareness because it's the most important part. We use the phrase situational awareness a lot in law enforcement, military, but it's for everybody. And it does not just apply to active shooter, survival, or any of that. Situational awareness, here's what it means. First and foremost, know what is happening. That's the first part of it. You heard the lady on the clip in the Navy Yard. She said, I'm in the cafeteria, I heard 3 shots, pow, pow, pow. 30, 40, whatever seconds later, we heard 4 more shots. And we knew they were shots. This is what she said. And so we panicked. That was their action required on condition red. Know what is happening. Know what could happen next. So here's us right now. We're in this conference room. We hear gunshots right out there in the hallway. Know what's happening. Those are gunshots. Know what could happen next. You can come in here and shoot me. And the final and the most important part of situational awareness that lets you get to condition red is know what your options are. Those were shots. He could come in here and shoot me. Is there a door for me to run out? If there was, that would be my option. That way, because the shots are that way. There's no door. I need to barricade that door. That's my option. Whatever my option is, it's going to be at that moment, at that time. That's situational awareness. Know what's happening, know what it could mean, and know what your options are. And by the way, most of the time, your options are going to be something that you decide on the scene. And if you don't do a little prep work, you won't have any options. You'll have condition black. So I'll tell you how to have some real quick. Continuous assessment process that you're going through. Here's the homework for you. And it won't be home, actually. We'll call it public work. I'm going to ask you to do this the next time you go somewhere. And I realize I'm asking a lot because it's going to take 3 to 5 seconds of your time. But it's that important. So the next time you go to a store or a restaurant or somewhere public, place where there's people, place where there's target-rich environment, right? Where there's lots of pieces of land. Next time you go there, when you walk through the main entrance of this place, take 3 to 5 seconds and just scan with your eyes and look for exit signs. Besides the one you just came in, all right? Do that. You just gave yourself options for that third part of situational awareness. Here's what it might play out and look like. You did that. You went to Safeway. As you walked through the main entrance, you looked around and you saw 2 more exit signs over there and over there. And then you just went about your business shopping. The reason that you did that is because you'd already taken that stress inoculation pill. If not today, at my urging, you maybe already did it. You've told yourself this could happen to you. So whenever you go somewhere, you take a simple step like that and you just gave yourself an option. So now you're on aisle 14 looking at lasagna and ravioli cans or whatever, and some maniac starts killing people over there. What you're going to see is what you saw in the video. You're going to see stampeding sheep heading for the only way out that they know, because when they came through the door, they did not look for other exits. So everybody's going there. And by the way, doorways are, we call them fatal funnels, right? That's where they're all running to. You saw it on the video at the airport. That's what it looks like. Not you, though. No, no, no. You did 3 seconds of prep work, and so you're heading that way because the shooter's over there. And you're going right out that exit. Or if you're at a restaurant, you've already figured out and told yourself there's virtually always an exit out the kitchen in any restaurant. So you're in a restaurant eating, and some monster starts slaughtering people over here in the dining room. You run through the kitchen and out. That's what situational awareness means in practice. And it does not take a lot of your time. But it does take some of your time. And if you don't do the work prior, it won't be there for you. It won't just magically appear. Intuition, you got to trust your intuition. That's really, really important, okay? The shots that you hear, they're shots. Don't make someone else or wait for someone else to justify. Do you think those are shots? Okay, if you think they're shots, and behave accordingly. And yeah, you might be wrong, but let me ask you this. Is looking silly better than looking dead? Every time. Trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Preparation, you look at everything you do through the lens of survival. Stores you go in, whatever. Doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you mindful. It doesn't take a lot of your time and you don't have to dwell on it. You spend a second or two, wherever you go, making options in your mind. That way, if something happens, it'll be there for you in your OODA loop. It's there. You can orient to it very quickly. What if things are huge? You can train yourself. By the way, visualization is almost, and in some cases, more effective than actually practicing stuff. Sports teams, golfers, they spend a lot of money teaching athletes how to visualize. I've used it as a firearms instructor for many years to make people better at manipulating their weapons and at shooting, because it works. It'll work for you too. Picture these things happening, spend 10 seconds. Next time you're at a movie, right before it starts, just glance at a person 3 rows down and 2 to the right, and just do a quick what if. What would I do if that person stood up and started stabbing people, shooting people? And actually picture yourself doing something. Now, I know when you walked in that movie theater, you already scoped out exits, because we just talked about that. So now you're doing an actual training session for free. It takes you a couple seconds. So important to your database, to your OODA loop. So important. And that's part of rehearsal. Those things all dovetail. So here's the way it shakes down. People do not rise to the occasion. It's a saying from ancient Greece. They sink to the level of their training. That's what happens. Everybody knows what, everybody's heard the phrase, or the term fight or flight. Do you know what the real term is? It's fight, flight, or freeze. And what that is, it's accurate. What it is it's our factory equipment. It's what we come rolling off the assembly line with. And it's not very good. In that OODA loop that I described, observe, orient, decide, act, when you get to orient and you don't recognize it, like poor Audrey in the airport, her decision at that moment was, we just dropped to the ground like a sack of flour. Other people's option was to go in a conference room, barricade the door, turn down their cell phone so their Lady Gaga ringtone doesn't tip off the monster, right? But not Audrey. She had fight, flight, or freeze. We saw what she chose. Some of them chose flight, and they just ran. Blindly just ran. Jeff will talk about that in a few minutes. That's not a good plan either. But that's fight, flight, or freeze. That's factory equipment. So we got to do the options, add on the options. The options are training. The options are the what-ifs. The options are, if you want, go to more training. Go spend money if you want. Go to free training. You don't have to, but do if you want. Those are the options that will go into your OODA loop and keep you alive when something scary happens to you. That's how it works. Once you're trained, like you are now, and you are, by the way, some of you were long before you came in here, you're still going to be scared when it happens. I'm going to be terrified when I hear gunshots, okay? But it's not going to be uncontrolled fear, and it's not going to be helplessness. So I'm not getting PTSD. Because we're going to do what on the left here, and you saw that right-hand column. You saw that with your own eyes and heard it with your own ears on that clip. That's on the right, and you will never be there. And by the way, it's self-fulfilling prophecy, all of this. If you tell yourself now that you won't be in that right-hand column, you won't be. You will be the person doing that thing that we heard in the conference room and that Jeff and Mondo are going to talk to you about. I said earlier, direct responsibility is yours. The cops are coming, for sure, but not in time. It's all about you and what you do. So the first thing you have to do is remain calm. And just a moment on that real quick. You can't do any of the actions and the fancy training and the stuff that you practice and do. You can't do any of that if your body won't let you. And if you let your heart rate get out of control, you won't be able to do anything. Here's how it works. Here's the body alarm matrix, all right? When something scary happens and we need to react as people, we need to do physical stuff, danger, we get this adrenaline dump, gunshot, whatever, heart rate shoots up. We get that epi drip, boom, it shoots up. Sometimes it shoots up way high, up close to 200 right away. We're so scared. If you don't get it back and it runs out of control, Here comes helplessness, here comes uncontrolled fear, here comes PTSD, here comes death. So where you need to be is around 115 to 140 beats per minute. That's optimal for survival. That's good fighting, reacting. You still have most of your motor skills. Things are working. You need that extra blood. You need it to be elevated a little bit. We need that extra oxygen. Okay? None of that will happen if you don't breathe. If you don't breathe, you're gone. You're done. Your panic level, your condition black, your heart rate's going 175 plus, and you are done. Taught boxing in the Marine Corps for a long time, other sports, other things. I've seen it a million times. We'll get an adrenaline dump, especially something that's new and exciting, and boom. And one of the things, especially new boxers, they'll forget to breathe. They'll hold their breath. That's what happens. Or they'll hyperventilate. So you got to tell yourself to breathe. That's step one. Before anything else, you got to do that. All of us have to do that, by the way. When we teach ProForce, we'd always say, okay, we're going to teach you a technique called tactical breathing. And when we say tactical, it makes it sound cool, so they listen more. It's just deep breathing. You take in a deep breath, like for a 3 count. 1001, 1002, 1003, and you hold it in for a 3 count. That's the important part. Let all that oxygen get perfused into your bloodstream. And then you blow it out for 3. And you do it again a couple more times. That will get your heart rate back